Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Karen Hosea Phillips. C News is live at noon.
And I'm Nisra Mohammed with sport.
Topping the news at this time, matters have become worse with the Sea Bridge. This according to Ahmed Hollis, head of the Inter-Island Truckers and Traders Association. He spoke with C News this morning and said one of the vessels has broken down completely.
Well, we need a vessel from the meeting. We need to get a vessel because we have no vessel. The express is done. You have trucks on the, you have things. You have people report from since yesterday who can't go home. The express broke a camshaft yesterday and everybody angry.
He said they are no longer interested in who the port speaks to about a new vessel. They just want a speedy solution to the problems affecting the Sea Bridge.
They got to know who they're talking with. We can really advise them who to talk to. That's a decision that they got to make. Right now, anybody who they could talk to get a vessel, we will be happy. Intercontinental or whoever wants is a vehicle that is suitable to make the trip. That's all. That's our concern right now.
Mr. Hollis says just as truckers are stuck in Trinidad, so it is in Tobago. He said the meeting with the Port Authority is scheduled for 1 this afternoon, and he made it clear that he wants solutions to be arrived at today. While Tobagonians are not suffering, this from the Tobago East Member of Parliament, Ayanna Webster Roy, as she responded to statements made by an opposition MP. There have been reports of a food shortage on the island as a result of the issues with the Sea Bridge. People do not want to use the barge and ferry to transport goods for various reasons. However, Ms. Webster Roy said she will not have anyone talk negatively about the place she is from.
You see, one of the things I don't like is for people to pass them out. We don't like that in Tobago. So I don't want anybody to come in here and pass them out on the people of my island, my community, my society.
She said at this time she can go to various shops and get items she requires.
I live in Tobago East, in the countryside. I'm a country girl. And if things were really hard as they claim, then the countryside would have felt it the most because we have to come from the port and then up into the east. I could go by Pablo and get anything I want. I could go by Paulson and get anything I want. Pablo is in Argyle, Paulson is in Richmond. I could go by Bill Brown. That's the other extreme. Bill Brown is in Scarborough. Part of Tobago East, and get anything I want.
The people of Tobago have not forgotten the treatment delivered to them by the former administration, and now the sudden care being showed to them is not being bought. This comes from Minister of Tourism and member for Tobago West, Chamfa Cujo, who spoke on the opposition's criticism of the Galicia barge issue facing Tobago. She said this government is just cleaning up the mistakes of its predecessor.
About Tobago in 2014, when you were doing the Superfast Galicia deal, you would have be sure to select a boat that was efficient enough to go between. We know very well and good, and we read it in the press, it was not.
And weighing in on the claims of food shortages on the island, she believes the challenge is being exaggerated.
You know how shelves in Tobago have no grocery and all this kind of stuff. When you speak to Tobagonians, the situation is different, and yes, there are challenges. Of course there will be challenges. Of course there will be challenges, but we are going through this process and we understand that this government is working diligently to restore proper services to Tobago.
To other news now, police are investigating a murder which took place in Rich Plain, Diego Martin last evening. The victim has been identified as 52-year-old Anthony Julian. Reports say his bullet-riddled body was found by police at around 10 o'clock as they responded to reports of gunshots. Julian was taken to the hospital but was pronounced dead on arrival. Investigators are yet to determine a motive for the killing. This is the C News Live report at noon. Remember, you can keep up to date with all the latest news on our website at ctvtt.com. or you can check out our Facebook and Twitter pages at C News Live. In some crime news, a couple is arrested for possession of arms and ammunition. Police say they seized 3 firearms, 163 rounds of assorted ammunition and marijuana during anti-crime exercises in the Northeastern Division. Meanwhile, police say a bandit was caught red-handed by trying to break into a supermarket located along Diet Street, Cunupia. That incident took place at around 1 a.m. The Northern Division of the Police Service held a march against violence this morning with the aim of getting young people to help in fighting the problems. Head of the Northern Division, MacDonald Jacob, said the march is to demonstrate unity against the criminal elements in the Northern Division. Present at the event, the MP for St. Augustine, Prakash Ramadar.
This morning with members of the police service, and I want to congratulate Mr. Jacob, Mr. Hackshaw for this initiative. I'm here also with the mayor of Arima, and this is about crime and the future of our nation, and I'm so firmly of the view that we must start with our kids. Tomorrow belongs to them, and we have to protect today and prepare them for tomorrow. And participating in this march sends a message that those who are interested in law and order and goodness far outnumber those who are willing to harm the society.
The march started at the St. Augustine Secondary School and went to the Eddie Hart ground in Tacarigua. The Trinidad and Tobago Natural Gas Limited, or TTNGL, has recorded after-tax earnings of $56.9 million for the first quarter of 2017. Now, this represents an improvement over the same period in 2016, when profit was recorded at $30.2 million. Earnings per share for the period were 37 cents compared to 20 cents for last year. TTNGL Chairman Jerry Brooks said this performance was based on product prices rebounding some 42% higher than the corresponding period last year. He expressed cautious optimism that this price recovery will continue over the near and medium terms. Mr. Brooks noted that the performance of Phoenix Park Gas Processors Limited, the underlying asset of TTNGL, was mainly responsible for the company's first quarter profits. The president of the Pharmacy Board, Andrew Rahman, has welcomed the decision taken by the Minister of Health to look at getting new CDAP products to replace some of what is being used. In the Parliament on Thursday, the minister said several of the drugs are not safe and effective, and soon new ones will be brought in. Mr. Rahman spoke with CNews this morning and said consultation should be held with them on this matter.
There was a committee that used to meet on CDAP, I think it's twice a month. I certainly see merit in it. I think it will be good for the citizenry if the people that operate the system has an opportunity to say what the problems are with the system. If you have a system and you are on the administrative side, the persons that operate the system will have some information that might be valuable.
As it relates to the shortage of several drugs, Mr. Rahman said this can be attributed to a lack of payment by government to the supplier.
We always hear there's an odd time, admittedly, when there's a problem with the sellers abroad, where there might be a problem with the manufacture process, there might be a problem with the sources required to produce the drugs. But that is minuscule. The problem on average is the government's payment to suppliers. So we hear a plethora of other reasons, and we don't ever hear the main problem, that after a while, when the suppliers are fed up of giving credit, they decide that they're no longer willing to supply any.
The National Child Policy is 60% complete and is expected to be finished and taken before Cabinet by July 2017. Minister in charge of Child Affairs in the Office of the Prime Minister, Ayanna Webster Roy, made the announcement while speaking in the Parliament last evening. The policy will provide long-term guidance and framework for adequate and suitable legislation, interventions and infrastructure that would ensure the rights of the child are enhanced and there is an improvement in their quality of life. $500,000 was allocated for this. The National Children's Registry is also in the works.
The National Children's Registry in fiscal 2017 received an allocation of $500,000. The design stage of this is 95% complete. In terms of the overall project, it is at 45% completion stage, and completion is due around the early part of fiscal 2018. Hanif
Benjamin has been recommended to chair the new Children's Authority Board. A statement from the Office of the Prime Minister also recommends 9 other people to comprise the board. The recommendations will be given to President Anthony Carmona, who will make the appointment. The term of office of the previous board ended on April 1st, 2017. Here now is Ian Wallace with your afternoon weather.
A deep surge of moisture may well carry through, bringing showers, some of them turning blustery and heavy, with some of those gusty winds near those thunderclouds. As today's tropical wave comes through, it may well be followed by some Saharan dust as we go into Saturday. Expect a humid 33 degrees Celsius in Trinidad, 30 degrees Celsius in Tobago. Look for sea spray and whitecaps offshore due to locally strong southeasterly winds of 20 knots, with long period northeasterly swells of 13 seconds. Normal easterly swells of 9 seconds should return through Saturday, with moderate choppy 2-meter windows in the Caribbean and nearing 3 meters out in the Atlantic. Tide is high at 5:30 p.m., then low at 11 p.m. That's the latest weather, and I am meteorologist Ian Wallace.
President of the Farmers Union Shiraz Khan wants someone to investigate why businesses which sell chemicals and other products to be used in farming are raising their prices on a regular basis. He said in the last 3 to 4 years, there's been a 40% increase in products to the detriment of the farmers.
Our prices are going down. The prices for our product are going down because you have tomatoes selling 7, 8 and 6 pounds for $20. So things has gone down. While the people who sell the necessary inputs into agriculture has increased their product, from chemicals to the medication for animals, the dewormers, the fertilizers, everything has gone up on the farmer.
Mr. Khan said Consumer Affairs or the relevant regulatory body must step in.
They are raising their prices to the whims and fancy of themselves. Nobody is pulling a rein on them because we keep saying if you have an effective prices commission, if you have somebody monitoring, okay, take for instance, you want to raise a price, the price of swiper. You want to raise the price from $50 to $60. Shouldn't it be some justification of why you want to do that?
Well, agri-economist Umadath Maharaj said for years he's been advocating for a sustainable agri-development policy, and this has not been done. As a result, the country is facing many issues with the local food industry.
Consumers will always want lower prices.
Yeah.
We love the lowest prices. But the opposite is farmers, of course, need higher prices to justify what they do and to earn a livelihood and so on, and to carry that value back to rural and coastal communities. So that cycle is something that we need to break. I think policy can do that.
To other news now, Public Administration and Communications Minister Maxi Cuffy says decisions are being made to improve the delivery of public service in this country. This as he acknowledges greater productivity is needed in the sector. Minister Cuffy made the comments during his presentation in the Parliament overnight. Janine Brown tells us more.
Earlier this month, officials of the Ministry of Public Administration and Communications revealed in a joint select committee of Parliament that there were approximately 9,000 vacancies within the public service. However, according to Minister Maxi Cuffy, this does not exactly translate to there being 9,000 jobs up for grabs.
Those 9,000 vacancies are not all vacancies that need to be filled. There are a number of positions that have become redundant. Some of them are suppressed. Some of them are no longer needed in a modern economy.
In a new development, the minister said vacancies that are actually available will be filled by the individual ministries, a responsibility that under the previous system belonged to the Public Service Commission. He said this new rule has already been applied in several ministries.
The Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries, the Ministry of Public Administration and Communication, the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government, the Office of the Prime Minister, the Ministry of Community Development, Culture and the Arts. So in these ministries, the Permanent Secretary will have the authority to advertise, recruit staff, and this will lead to faster recruitment in the public service.
And Nazira Mohammed joins us to tell us what's coming up in sport. Nazira, West Indies in trouble over in Dominica.
That's correct, Karen. There's still 279 runs adrift of Pakistan's first innings total. I'll have details on that and much more. It's been a long time coming, but finally Brian Lara can wake up confident in the belief that his legacy is secure, especially since the Brian Lara Cricket Academy is a reality. It was his idea to then Prime Minister Patrick Manning to construct the facility to help inspire future generations. And now, together with a few of his friends, the dapper left-hander is ready to christen the facility as part of an elaborate opening.
I want my facility, when you drive past it, for it to always look, brand new, look like if, activity is taking place. I am very also proud of the swimming facility and the cycling. I've been to both and I think that they're world standard. What I would like to see maybe in that area as well, if we're talking about sport tourism, is to see, a hotel where we can sort of have players down in those areas so we can, really make it that hub.
This has been 13 years in the making, and Lara sounded anxious to get going, even as he named the likes of Arjuna Ranatunga, Herschel Gibbs, Ramnari Sawan, Mervyn Dillon, Courtney Brown, Ricardo Powell, Curtly Ambrose and Courtney Walsh on the International 11.
I've spoken about the international team. Of course, there are a few more players involved, but what I'm more interested in is my team. Dwayne Bravo, who has been out for injury for quite some time, he made his way over to India. And unfortunately, he couldn't take part in the IPL, and he's now back home ready to resume cricket. So we're going to have the service of Dwayne Bravo. We're also going to have local stars like Dinesh Ramden, Riyad Emrit, Kevin Cooper, Evan Lewis, Tion Webster, and veterans like Mervyn Dillon and Dinanath Ramnarine. For me, I'm truly looking forward to having a knock with this young sensation I heard about, Kirsten Kalicharan. I saw him bat a couple times, but I want to see him out in the middle. I want to see him 22 yards away. So I'm truly looking forward to that.
But he's not alone, as the excitement meter is up with some of the other familiar names here to help him open the facility.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, it's for a good cause, and I think the work that Brian has done for cricket in the Caribbean and of course of the people in Trinidad, I think it's only well deserved. So to be a part of it, it's really nice.
For me, again, to be able to run out there on a cricket field again, to be in a game environment, it's going to be a pack house. Just happy and excited to be able to run around again, and that's a positive for me. I'm excited. I feel like I'm making my debut again, and once again to be playing under Brian Lara is always a special moment.
So now it's time to take to the field to witness a glittering opening ceremony, followed by the much talked about clash between some former stars and a few current standouts, all of whom are hoping to put on a show for the fans to enjoy.
Dinanath Ramnarine has been appointed as chairman of the board of directors at the Sports Company of Trinidad and Tobago. A former Trinidad and Tobago and West Indies spinner, Mr. Ramnarine has also served as president of the West Indies Players Association, WIPA, and continues to advocate for the improvement of conditions for athletes across the region. Upon receiving his instruments of appointment, Ramnarine said he was deeply honored to have the opportunity to serve his country once again in the field of sport. In this regard, he looks forward to working closely with the Honorable Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs, Board of Directors, the hard-working staff of the Sports Company of Trinidad and Tobago, as well as the key stakeholders in the various sporting organizations to make a meaningful contribution. His first engagement as chairman will be attending the opening of the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Taruba. The major event honoring the international cricket icon takes place this evening from 6 p.m. and also features an exhibition T20 between a Brian Lara 11 and an international 11. And that's it for sport for today.
And that's the CNews report at noon. I'm Karen Kuzia-Philip.
And I'm Nazira Mohammed. Remember to tune in to CTV from 6 p.m. this evening for live coverage of the opening of the Brian Lara Cricket Academy.
And remember, for up-to-date and breaking news throughout the day, you can visit the CNews website at ctvtt.com. Do have a good afternoon.